Welcome on into the Five Hole Fantasy Hockey Podcast, the fantasy hockey podcast that will always be your Huckleberry. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. We are here tonight. We're your hosts, Jay and Alan. We're here with your Week 24 weekend preview. Jay, do you have a favorite Val Kilmer movie? Are you old enough to know who he is?
Alan, don't call me out on actual important media in American cinema. My goodness. I'm trying to remember too, have I watched an Avengers movie past the second?
Oh, no. I don't think he was in any of the Avengers. He was like Top Gun, Tombstone, at least one of the Tim Burton Batman movies in the 90s.
Alan, this is the embarrassing part, but I
have none.
I have not is the short answer. The longer answer is I watched Top Gun after Maverick was such a good movie.
But yeah, before we get into it, as always, YouTube guys, if you guys are watching, like, subscribe. We're trying to still one day we might get to 1,000 subscribers. That'd be sweet. You can join us at our Discord. Truck rolling up to about 3,000 users in there, talking fantasy hockey or just whatevs. Follow us on Twitter/X, slide into our DMs, and then actually TJ just did a bunch of work on the website. Take a look at the game grid there. It even comes with suggested players, which brings it that much closer to part of what I love about zero GAR, zero games above replacement, another schedule tool. Again, the website FHFhockey.com. Say around the league, lots of people getting hurt, man. It's not good. Out of Vancouver, couple updates. I think this one's been out there for a minute, but Philly Heedle appears to be done for the season. That's right. I never did get an update on Pedersen. It sounds like he's skating, but Hoglander sounds like we'll be back before him. And Pia Suter was the stream of the week last week, hands down. I don't know, Jay. I don't know. I think Vancouver has a tidy little schedule coming the end of the week. I mean, are we holding Pia Suter as long as all those guys are out?
Yeah, I'm trying to look too, right? So 3 games this week, but they played against Seattle already, and next week it's just a heavy setup. I mean, Alan, you know me. I've always been a schedule guy.
Well, that's even next week, week 25. It's that full week and kind of a half. Everyone's got between 4 and 6 games. No one's got like 2 or 1. So you might still be all right, but I know when I was doing show notes, I didn't really see Vancouver on the top or the bottom. So, I mean
it's a fascinating one to consider. Like this is what 20 you said 25, 20, 26, I guess, right? Like that's the final week.
Yeah, so week 25, yeah.
I've played in leagues where they played all the way through to, April 17 right before, and then obviously also like I guess the deeper you go, the more people clamor and complain and say they want the shorter weeks. If you choose to play on April 7th, I'm trying to remember which is that week 25. Does that auto magically pull you to the end of the season, or do you still have
in Yahoo at least? Yahoo. I think Fantrax gives you a little bit more customization because in the 5-hole listener league, we have a 2-week final, but it's weeks 23 and 24. So this is like the second half of the final week.
Right. Because if it automatically pulls you over, then yeah, exactly. You're right. 4 to 6 games all the way down. And I mean,
from a guy getting line 1, power play 1, Quinn Hughes is back. So really he's the only guy you need on that team to get scoring going.
For sure.
But I'd say, it's if he's the guy that you're not benching night in, night out, you can't argue with that deployment.
Yeah, I would definitely his sweepstakes are pretty low stakes too, right? 24% ownership. I mean, yeah, I'd hop all over that probably, to be honest.
With all these guys I ended up in the show notes here. Yeah. Those top line guys don't grow on trees at this point. Couple updates out of Minnesota. We are now on week 6 of Joel Eriksson X 6 to 8 week timeline, but there's still no update on his return, but he's got to be getting close. Kaprizov did have a positive update from his surgeon, and he has been cleared for contact. But Hines, the head coach of Minnesota, doesn't anticipate having him back on or by this Sunday's game versus Dallas. So for those of you whose season ends after this week and you traded for Kaprizov, hopefully you won in spite of that. But probably the biggest news, Connor McDavid, McJesus himself, skated in a non-contact jersey today. That's, one step closer to return. No updates there. Brady Tkachuk, who absolutely 100% looks like Sloth from the Goonies, missed yesterday's game with an upper body injury, likely still dealing with whatever the deal was with the Four Nations. This is probably a guy we see some load management from, Jay. I think, what have we seen? I think this is Fabian Zetterlund on that top line in Ottawa. Are we interested at all?
Yeah, so I just need to double check. So when, I guess with any Sens fans out there, clarify as well. Like, he's obviously listed as CLW, right? The center and the left wing, but I don't think he centers. I don't think he takes the faceoffs, right? That's
No.
Timmy Stew's angle, I think, right? So Timmy Stew takes it. Who's taking, I guess, all those? I was gonna say taking all the faceoffs.
I was like, I feel like Perron. No, I don't think Perron's on that top unit there.
It does look like Zetterlund gets time, but Zetterlund seems to split it. Like, they don't have the guys that are L1, PP1, like just like stacked all together identically through the lines. It looks like Zetterlund gets
so
L1.
It looks like
power play
Giroux is back on power play 1 with.
Oh, really? I have him on power play
with
2,
Sloth out.
Oh, I have Ridley Greig. Am I seeing that correctly? Ridley Greig is power play 1?
I do see he had some time last game.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I see
nope, I shouldn't say that. No.
Greig, Stu, Cousins, Batherson, Sanderson.
Cousins, Stu, Batherson, Sam. Yeah, Sanderson.
And I also see a shift of Batherson, Stu, Cousins, Gaudette, Sanderson. So it sounds like they're trying to make something work.
It doesn't sound like a weak secondary power play either, right? There's Batherson, Zetterlund, Giroux, Chabot, and Gaudette. Yeah. So I think it's we were saying, is Zetterlund worth the, I guess, the juice of Zetterlund worth the squeeze?
Actually, is he still? Yeah, they still got Zetterlund power play 1. That top line is Stu, Giroux, Zetterlund.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say I forget what their schedule is for the rest of the week, but I know I'm hanging on to Cousins personally.
Yeah, I think they have 3 games in the remaining 4 days.
Right. And I don't think anyone's catching up to them for that first wild card.
No, I don't think so. No. Yeah. Are you saying for long-term shenanigans for the rest of the regular season?
Possible at this point, right? Like, when we say long-term holds, we mean like the next week and a half, 2 weeks.
Are we saying there's going to be LTIR shenanigans for the Ottawa Senators too?
No, deadline's already come and gone.
Can they call up anybody? I don't think so. Do you have anybody in like the setup coming through?
I think and I mean, no one that would fill that cap hit.
No way. Although
I don't know.
No way, and I'm pulling them up on Puckpedia right now just to see who would be available for them to snag. Oh yeah, no, they just need Brady back. They just need Brady back. They just need Brady back.
They're not as worse as some of these other teams we're going to go over.
But if they don't have, let's see, so 84 points. Wow. Can we just comment a little bit on the mid-off that's going on here? So there's the Rangers.
For that second wild card.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Dude, it's the same thing happened last season. It was like no one wanted that second wild card spot. The Capitals stumble backwards into it and then just get swept by the Rangers.
And then this year the Capitals were like,
I know now it's like the Capitals are that first card or that first seed.
Did you hear I'm gonna check on the notes too, because we're gonna talk about that later. Never mind. But yeah, could be huge ramifications into playoffs though, right? Like with the injuries and everything.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah. But for Vegas, Tomas Hertl did skate today, but he is still being labeled as out for the week. Looks like Nicholas Roy, I'm not sure how French he is in this case. He is slotting in the 2C with Dorofeyev. I don't know. You know what? Actually, probably the bigger question instead of like 2C, we should probably check who's on that power play, because I don't think he's getting power play 1 in Hurdle's absence.
Dorofeyev, Eichel, Hannafin.
Yes, I saw that.
Carlson.
Oh, Wild Bill? What?
Okay.
All right.
Wild Bill, that's
not mad.
So, but at the same time, like, who's their PP2? I feel like did we list out, like, we missed a bunch of names? Wait, hold on. Okay, so
man. Yeah, Theodore, he's power play 2.
Yeah, Barbashev, Waugh, Theodore, Riley Smith, and who's last?
Victor Olofsson. Yeah.
Olofsson.
Not a terrible second unit.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm just trying to. Why do I always feel like there's? Maybe it's with what you said before, and what I've noticed with Vegas is just, it seems like their team's so deep. Like, I say everyone's name, and I feel like I'm still missing somebody.
No,
we're not missing nobody.
No Brandon Saad on either unit.
Petrangelo's out. Out. That's why I was thinking, oh, there's another name. And then I was like, Theodore. Oh, but Theodore was on power play 1. Okay. Yeah. That team is deep.
I know.
There were the memes about the Oilers too. And I'm going to say too, like, didn't the Oil just kill this team? Sans McDavid? Like, this is, I don't know.
Maybe that sounds right. I know I was watching that game because my opponent in one spot has Draisaitl. Just got him back. So next up, no Alex Barkov tonight versus the Leafs. He left last night's game. Did come back for a while, but he is now, I don't know, they don't really label him day to day, week to week. That just really sucks for this team. Good God. Because now they're down Barkov. They're down the Kachuk that does not look like the pale orc from Lord of the Rings. They're down someone else. Oh, Marchand came back though.
Right.
Yeah, they're hurting. But the lineup's looking a little different here. So line 1 supposedly tonight is Luostarinen, Lundell, and Reinhart. And then you got for Higgy, Bennett, Marchand. Sam Miscavige doing him dirty is on the third line with Rodriguez and Boquist.
But power
play 1.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So we got Sam Bennett, Marchand, Reinhart, Sam Miscavige still. So we still got that. And Seth Jones. I don't know. We've seen Lundell be put in this situation before, Jay. Do we think? And I think Florida has one of the better weekend schedules. Yes,
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They have 2 back-to-backs. They started the weeks with back-to-backs and end the weeks with back-to-backs. They end the week with a back-to-back. So
that's right. So so they have Saturday, Sunday. Do we think Lundell is worth a? Well, I think Lundell's center left wing. Is he? Do we think he's worth a look? I mean, at least playing with Reinhart. Like Luostarinen, I'm not super excited about, but Reinhart at least.
For sure.
And he's gotten that deployment before.
Yeah, and they're playing teams that, Ottawa and Detroit. It's really, I'm misreading it. Sorry. Oh, no, I'm not. Ottawa and Detroit. Yeah, Ottawa and Detroit. It's kind of funny to talk about too, because me as the Leafs fan, you as the Bolts fan, and like, it's a tight race, not just for the wild card spot, but also the Atlantic.
That
right?
top 3, yeah.
It's I'm looking right there, and if I'm not seeing it mistaken, like, isn't Tampa ahead of the Panthers right now? Like, this is.
That sounds right. I mean, especially after tonight, it looks like Leafs just won that one 3-2 against Florida.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like no one wants to be in that 2-3.
No. Well, it's
because I know I don't want to play you guys, and I don't want to play the Panthers.
Panthers, right? I mean, it's, if you're inverting it the other way too, though, like, the Senators are most likely the team to play, right? Like, they're probably gonna be locked into that, unless the Rangers, someone else chases up to them. And I mean, you're just looking at what Florida's done, right? Like, 3 seasons of deep. Well, not 3. Okay. Wow. I'm almost saying it's like, yeah,
2.
The Panthers are definitely going to end up in the conference finals this year too. But like, 2 straight years of finals all the way through. That's got to be taking a beating on, some of their guys. You kind of almost hope that, the Kachuk. If I was a Panthers fan, I would probably want Kachuk to get some time to actually rest up. Dude had broken sternum, right? One of the years. So I don't know if I want him to get him beat up against his, well, depends if his brother comes back on Saturday. I don't know, beat up against his brother or against the Detroit, team battling for a spot. You want to give them, their own space for a bit.
But yeah, I just I really feel like Four Nations did a number on a lot of guys, especially the Kachucks.
It hurts because
it was such good hockey.
It was, but also like the All-Star game is kind of like a mini, Cancun vacation normally. You know what I mean? Like for Four Nations to come in and kind of decimate that concept is good, and also it's great for us as the viewers, but it wasn't that great, obviously, on the player end. But the important part is the guys that, are like Lundell, Frank. I don't want to disrespect the dude, but I was like, was he playing in the Four Nations? Like, I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Anton Lundell.
If he was, it was like deep in one of those lineups.
Because he's on the Finnish team, but I was like, did he make it into the Finnish team? And I'm like, if he's a Stanley Cup winning dude on Finland, I was like, do they have that many centermen? And I don't know. Okay, but either who, you'd imagine he'd be the guy munching up minutes so that other guys could rest up, right? Like he's probably, I can't imagine they'd rest any of these guys, but like Sam Bennett, Reinhart, and then like Barkov's already out. Like aside from Sam Bennett and Reinhart, who could maybe take a faceoff or two, like isn't he the premier centerman? He is. Isn't he?
Barkov, yeah, 100%.
Oh no,
probably one of the best. Oh
yeah, I'm saying Barkov aside, like the best one that Florida's got is Anton Lundell.
See, I was about because again, we saw this early in the season where Barkov was out, and then instead of Sam Bennett line one, it was Lundell, which seems like that could even be like a long. I don't want to say long term plan to make him the 1C, but like move up the lineup.
If they lose a couple more games and Tampa and Toronto pull away, like, do you think realistically they're just going to be like, listen, like Barkov, take a few extra days.
We're locked in that Atlantic third seed. Let's just
we're not going to beat Toronto or Tampa. Well, that's crazy to say. Everyone will beat Toronto in the first round anyways. But like if we face Tampa, it's like we're not going to get through Tampa. And the man that is disguised, like the beast disguised as a man in the crease, just by having our guys like limp in half, injured. Like the rest up, take a few weeks, and we'll pound them into oblivion. Because isn't that Tampa? Like, no, not Tampa. Sorry, isn't that Florida? Florida basically is we shoot everything on net and we crash the crease and we scored greasy, dirty goals. And I was like, that kind of requires a certain, like player. But you can't just keep ramming a car over and over and expect, it to not have wear and tear. That's where you get your Anton Lundell, to grease up the wheels a little bit for a couple of weeks. That's what I'm thinking. And this weekend looks juicy. I'm not bringing Barkov back this weekend. Like I'm just speaking, like I'm talking as a Florida fan. I ain't wanting him back this weekend. I don't want him smashing up against either of those wild cards, showing out potential playoff round like tips and tricks. We don't want any of that.
All right, but moving on here, we got Logan Thompson left tonight's game with an upper body injury. No idea what it was. So is it Charlie Lindgren season? Because I don't know. Logan Thompson seems like, well, maybe I'm getting the two of them confused, but I feel like Logan Thompson hasn't been so hot lately. But Charlie Lindgren, Caps have been kind of the juggernaut in the East this season. Are we, if we need goalie help, are we looking at that?
Yeah, I was clicking on it too. And weirdly, Yahoo's bounced me out now, so I can't see his stats. But it says he's got the checker mark. So did he bounce out of the game today? Like, did he get injured?
Logan Thompson, he got injured in the game.
In the game. Did we see the injury?
I didn't.
Normally they have like all these different. Oh, why is it continuing to sign me out?
I was going to say upper body. Wouldn't surprise me if he took a knock in the head and.
Right, for sure. I was trying to say like what was the injury, because like depending on the injury, yeah, of course, like Lindgren stocks all the way up. Okay, so it says what, doubtful to return. Oh, and he was also tagged for 3 goals, so it could be. Have to wait till the end of.
I think he just quit. he quit on the team. He was like, guys, oh no, my head. Oh, I got hit in the head. I put the other guy in, tag out.
Okay, what is their schedule? Like, I'm trying to
They play
find.
Friday, Sunday.
They play Friday and Sunday.
And then I don't remember them. Again, I don't remember them for week
Chicago
25.
and the Isles.
Oh.
Oh, that's so juicy. Oh, frig. Okay, especially the Chicago game.
Yeah, because
Oh,
the Islanders, haven't they lost like 4 in a row now, or 4 or 5 in a row?
They're still in the playoff hunt. Like, what is happening? It's crazy.
It's weird. Just when you think you can count them out, they are pull up to like 2 points within a playoff spot there.
What's
It's
the
nuts.
turntable phrase? What's the turntable phrase?
Oh,
like
my, how the turntables.
Yeah. That one too. Yeah. But I was going like snatching. Oh yeah, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
It's a victory. There we go. Yes,
that's the one. So I would only caution or hesitate a bit on the Washington pickup, which is that. So after Sunday, next week is a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday play. So they're not going to play for.
So you
4
want,
days?
he'll get 2 of those starts at most.
They get 2 of the starts in the week afterwards, and then he's probably And also next week they're playing Carolina, which it could be okay, honestly. Like it could be, I don't know, low scoring 2-1 game. But they're also playing Columbus afterwards, and I think Columbus, like that's make it or break it, isn't it? For Columbus,
it is for Columbus. They're still in the hunt, but it's getting real late, real fast.
I don't know if I want to be, like the goalie against a desperate team that has returning players in like the throngs of a playoff. I feel like that's got trap game all
right,
over it.
Especially since Monahan's been on a tear since he returned. That was a sweet pickup.
Yeah,
I don't know who dropped him or I got him in the listener league, but thank you. So yeah, get into the weekend preview there. So no Thursday, Friday, Sunday teams, unfortunately. But we got quite a few Friday, Sunday guys. So first up, Chicago. I feel like this one's pretty simple, Jay. Like, just go check on Ryan Donato, who has just been nuts as of late. And most of the season, he's 45%, but everyone else should be out there. It does look like Levchnov is holding power play 1 still. I don't know if they're going to burn that year on his ELC or not. Seems awfully weird too. So that could disappear at any moment. But Vlasic isn't even getting power play 2. So I would, if you're holding him, maybe drop him. But
what benefits would they get to burn a year of his ELC?
I know, right? I mean, it would make sense if they were trying to, make the timeline work to be competitive. But let's be real. I mean, they're probably 2-3 years out from being any sort of competitive in a real hockey sense.
And then further, if they were genuinely trying to be competitive, wouldn't a player of that caliber on an ELC for longer?
Yeah, you would want the ELC to be 3 years instead of 2.
For sure.
Where they're cost controlled.
At the same time, to be the toxic, like shaker of fists. So like, would someone that ran such an effective franchise be considering these nuances and ending up with the Blackhawks at like 31 out of 32? Anyways, that may be too toxic to say. But
hey, man, the Bruins are coming for him. The Bruins are they're coming for the bottom.
Oh man, it's aside. Alan, if my eyes aren't deceiving me, somehow they're up against the Avs right now.
Oh, 1-0, right? Like that must have just happened. I guess the Avs got their goal called back. I saw they had scored.
Oh, brutal.
Anyone else we're looking at? I mean, I think Connor Murphy, we've mentioned a few times.
Tyler Bertuzzi, we mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Bertuzzi, Teuvo Teravainen. I feel like, if you can't get Donato, Teravainen and Bertuzzi are probably the gets.
For sure.
Although Ilya Mikheyev with the shorthanded goal tonight, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a lottery ticket.
The fact that he got a shorthander probably indicates his lack of deployment on power play, right? So he gets PK 1 and nothing else. He gets line 1. Yeah.
Yes. I thought I saw he was line 1 tonight. Yeah, it was Bedard, Donato, Mikheyev.
But I think you're right about Donato. I think Donato's the main guy.
He's the get. Right, and hopefully you got him tonight. It's Wednesday. To get him for that Wednesday, Friday, Sunday should be have room in all those nights for him. Next up, Detroit. Just go check on Patty Kane, 65%. Probably not available. I mean, what's his name? Is like Marcus Casper, but Casper is his last name. I'd say he's the lotto ticket on this team. Line 2 with Raymond. He does hit quite a bit if you need hits, if your categories or you get good bangs weight. Ben Sherratt, I think he's back. Is the only other guy I could think of for riffs.
I don't think I realized just how top heavy Detroit is. Like Detroit almost falls into that category we were joking, or not joking. We were mentioning early in the season about like the Rangers and the Leafs, where like you kind of draft all the guys, and aside from that, the streamers are kind of bare, right?
Nothing.
Like Larkin, Seider, DeBrincat, and
Raymond,
and then Kane is yeah. Seider, yeah. So Larkin, Seider, DeBrincat, Raymond, and then Kane.
I feel like Kane's had spurts of relevance.
For sure. And then afterwards, if we're going to Casper, it kind of indicates just how,
I was saying, like I said, to me, that's your lotto ticket. I liked that line better when it was DeBrincat, Casper, Raymond. But I don't think they were getting anywhere with it, which is probably why they shuffled.
Who was the guy that slotted into the first line though? Because Cat's right there.
It was Casper for a minute, and then it was one of the Soderblom's. I think he is out. So now it's DeBrincat, Larkin. Shoot.
Tarasenko. Right, was he ever
on line 1?
Line 1, line 2?
Gross. I think they've tried that at least once or twice. It's crazy watching that dude fall off. Like I remember when I first got into fantasy, he was one of those guys like I always wanted to own.
He was always one of those like undersold, he was almost weirdly, I think you'll understand this player reference though. He was kind of like a Zach Werenski style, like where it's like, wow, you own him and it's like he always overshoots and it's like 1 or 2 injuries and it's like, oh man, if he didn't get hurt, like
right.
Think of what.
And even then, I think he only had, I think we talked about this. It was either when he signed with Detroit or the Sens. It was just like he only had one season where he played point per game. Don't fall for this. But I mean, to what I think he scored recently, and it was only like his 10th, 11th, 12th goal, like something sad. I feel like I'm misremembering, but it's crazy watching him fall off.
Wait, let's see. What's the setup this season? 10 goals and 21 assists in 72 games. Yeah. Dude's got to score like 40 points in the next 10 games to get back to
Yeah, looking at a 35-point season. Good God. And I mean, even that's a sharp fall off from his last 2 seasons at 59 points, right? 59? No, 55 and 50.
Some people have always been asking and saying, but like essentially was his point per game ascendancy together with that season where the Blues won the cup?
No, it was after. It was the 21-22 season.
Okay. Then it kind of makes sense, right? Because like they won the cup and then everyone's like, wow. And then the next season, like fresh in memory, he like performs and everything. And it's like, okay, that kind of clicks and tracks. Man, I don't know. Like I'm still definitely of the opinion that there is immense skill and quality there. I just right wing, third line, power play 2, 14 minutes a night. Like,
it's gross. What were you thinking, Stevie Y? What were you thinking? And then next up, Minnesota. I mean, this was the team. Hopefully, I got someone from it this week. But for some reason, Matt Zuccarello's 49% owned, worth a check. Any interest in Ryan Hartman for Power Play 1? I know I picked him up.
Marco Rossi is definitely the guy still. Marco Rossi
is he? How available is he though? Oh,
33%. Like I don't know.
I didn't look far enough down the ownership.
He is what? Foligno's what? Okay, this doesn't make any sense though. Marco Rossi, literally 33%. He gets 18 minutes a night, centering line 1. Oh, he's on Power Play 2 now.
Oh, that's why. Gross.
Oh, okay. Freddie Gaudreau, maybe. I think he looks like they swapped spaces, the line 1
and well, it looks like they're trying Vinny Hinostroza on line 1 for some reason.
Oh.
Arizona Coyotes legend Vinny Hinostroza.
Truly, Vinny Hinostroza. Okay. He's 0% owned for what it's worth. So
Less than
Nobody's caught on
1%.
yet.
Less than 1%.
It's the 1%.
I find it hard to believe that they're
Not a single person.
Okay. No, yeah, I feel like it's guys in the minors and Yahoo. I could believe that because you probably don't do too many dynasty leagues in Yahoo. But I just find it very hard to believe that there are a lot of players that are 0% owned.
Yeah, he's probably like 0.4% and rounding down or something. Yeah.
For rifts, I mean, all there really is here, Marcus Foligno, Jake Middleton. If Jake Middleton's healthy, I don't know.
Oh, what do you think about Ryan Hartman?
Oh, there we go. That's what I was asking because it looks like he is getting power play 1 right now. I mean, he's 3C, but it's weird. That middle 6 seems pretty interchangeable to me because I think it was like Hartman, Nyquist, someone else, and then the second line. I would only call it the second line because Zuccarello is on it.
I feel like you can't know on the night if like Jeek is gonna score or like Hartman's gonna score or like Gaudreau's gonna score. Or
I was like, Jeek's not scoring. He's injured.
he's injured. Yeah, for sure. But actually, Marco Rossi is like super like. I think Marco Rossi is definitely the play because like he's just so underrated for some reason. 22, 33. So he's at what, 50, 55, right? At 55 points. Like who is Marco Rossi? I'm trying to remember. Like,
I don't know who he is.
Like, I was like, is he grizzled vet? Like underrated?
No, he's 23.
He's an underrated, undersold Italian dude. Sorry, Austrian dude. Like, Frank, he should be over rostered to 33% for sure. Getting
that shot rate's a little iffy though. I mean, 5 shots tonight, but other than that, it's like 1, 1, 0, 0, 2, 3. It's I can see why he probably gets dropped pretty frequently. I would drop him for whatever hotness is that week too.
Who's the guy that we used to always be like, oh frick, is he the wild Nick Schmaltz, where it's like if he isn't scoring, he's really, really like, it's
there's a lot of guys that do that for you. It's a lottery ticket. Like they get you points or they get you 0.
Now the big question is what's next week for them look like, because obviously
I think we said Mini was like one of the better just playoff period teams.
Right.
Oh wow, they're not
2 off nights next week.
Yep.
And they end on a Saturday so that you could open that slot up, on Sunday. But I don't know if April 14th would have a new ad available. I don't know.
Depends, as I have discovered this season. Fantrax resets on the Sunday.
It's pretty
even if it's an extended match.
Oh man. So if that is the case, then the Wild are incredible to snag for off night availability and for refreshability for ensuing April 14th. Fresh ads, as Alan has pointed out. But yeah, aside from that, dude, Marco Rossi is.
There's no way. Oh man. Okay.
Oh, you're saying for 3
Next
weeks for them to get
fantasy weeks. There we go. Let me check this. Okay. And sort by team. Minnesota. They have four games across those 2 weeks on 2 off nights. Yeah, I don't like that for next week. No, this would definitely be a purely a Friday Sunday play. I would agree. They're much better teams you could get probably better players on. Then the next up, New York Islanders for what they're worth. Just go check on Anders Lee, 46%. If you're looking for riffs, Romanov, JGP.
Yes. Pajot,
classic on the show. Always JGP, always good for the random shorthanded point. I love it.
Actually, isn't PG also no, PG does a fair amount. No, PG, sorry. He's not even PG. JGP, yeah, GP. He gets kind of like undersold, but he actually does do a fair amount.
He does so much. And if you play in a league with face-offs, oh god, I mean, even on a week where he's not scoring, he's still filling out your categories.
And have you seen how bad Sorokin is recently? Like,
yes, I watched a couple of games. He has been terrible.
Pajot is going to be taking faceoffs all the time after they take the puck out of the net. Like, he's going to have so many chances and opportunities. So,
I think Holstrom here is the lotto ticket. He's got line 1, power play 1. done nothing with it last week. But yeah, Tony,
Palmieri maybe? Palmieri, 17%.
yeah,
Line one.
certified second half performer. Tony D'Angelo still on power play one for some reason, even though they also have Noah Dobson on there.
Can we also complain about Dobson? Like, I've watched this man do nothing. Like, let's see what he's
Dude,
doing.
I don't know. I don't know if he's playing through some kind of injury. Like,
he had 2 hits and nothing else in a
I
loss to the Bolts. Like, how? You lost 4-1. Like, get in the way of one shot. You know what I mean? Anyway.
I wonder if he gets moved in the offseason. I thought I remember hearing there was some trade deadline talk around him.
The team is
but maybe that's an off-season thing.
The team is so difficult. They are what? Too old to be young and too young to be old. You know what I mean?
So many years of finishing like middle draft picks, like nothing to show for it. They sign these old guys to just end of time contracts.
Let's be real. The Rangers,
and now they got to pay the piper.
The Rangers have had a terrible season compared to expectations and somehow are still getting out-delivered in terms of disappointment by the Isles.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's like, come on. Okay, who do they have right now that would interest our listeners? And we're like, yeah, go snag him. So they have Horvat, Lee, Pajot. No, sorry, he's power play 2. Horvat, Lee, Palmieri, Dobson. Where's the last guy? Oh,
I would say past Horvat, I'm really not interested in anyone on that team.
Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on. So last up, we got the Washington Capitals. There we go. Just go check on Connor McMichael, the one true Michael in the or not one true Michael, the one true Connor in the NHL. He's 50%. Duhaime for your hits upside there. Martin Fehervary for some reason is on a little bit of a points hot streak and good for riffs. But other than that, like most of these guys are owned. I mean, Dubois owned, and he's playing with Obi right now for some reason.
Alexei Protas is at 61% ownership. That probably speaks. We just talked about a Marco Rossi who has all off nights this week, has that 33% ownership.
Right. And I feel like a lot of these higher ownerships, probably on a guy like Protas, is these are teams that like, you know, they quit a long time ago. They're out of contention. Like it's just the waiver wires get real thin this time of year.
I was even going to go the opposite because like a dude like Protas, I remember him at like 0 and 1%. Like these are dudes that are obviously listening to the pods and everything, and they've added him already, and he's outperformed all expectations to be like, frig.
Yeah,
like,
I got to hold him.
We'll keep this guy and see. But the fact that this dude, like when you read a Tom Wilson, Ovi, like PLD even, and PLD, like Allen, oh my goodness, like I'm quivering in my own boots to say like 68% ownership. Like what?
Dude, who knew Spencer Carberry was the freaking PLD whisperer?
Of all guys, Dylan Strome from last year had a really good season, but like,
well, yeah, Dylan Strome led the team in points last season with like 60 something.
Yeah, it's man, like Jacob Chikrin, you know, with his like, you know, all his extra dough that he's available now,
and that's why I wonder where his extra candles, you know, buy SUVs, gas powered SUVs. Thank you, because sitting on a giant battery is for weirdos.
It's just
I don't know. I wonder where Jacob Chikrin's stonk is next season.
It's got to be sky high, right? Like, actually, both of those, it's crazy also. Jacob Chikrin is a 92% ownership, and he is the lesser D-owned, like, D-owned player compared to John Carlson at 95. It's this team.
And it's insane, because even if something happens to both of them, they still have Rasmus Sandin.
Yeah, they're
like, if both of them die in some freak gasoline fight accident, like they still got him.
Sandin just rolls in, and it's like, all right, guys, like, you know, dude, actually, maybe the guy we should be telling everyone to get maybe is Lindgren. Not necessarily because Lindgren is the only guy to not because Lindgren is like the Messiah or whatever, but just because he might be the only reasonable value to be derived from
on that team.
Yeah. Well, what is his ownership though? Let's see. He's at 33%. Wow, that seems to be the magic number today. 33% for underowned players. Yeah, so Charlie Lindgren.
Let's say so any league that's still active, like he might be out there.
For sure.
Yeah, getting to some goalie streams. So there's only one team with a Friday, Saturday back to back, and it's Carolina. I mean, I don't think you're going to get Freddie or Kochekov at this point.
Peter,
Yeah,
what was he? I remember he had
Kochekov,
7.
Kochekov.
Yeah, it was like 78 or something was like the ownership. I remember
Yeah, you're
70%.
not getting
No,
either one of them.
77. Oh shoot. Okay, yeah. No, he's Gonzo. Okay.
But Saturday, Sunday, I got Boston. Goalies or really anyone not named Pasternak. I'm really not interested in anyone on Boston, but they're versus Carolina at Buffalo. Buffalo, I don't want either of their goalies, especially if they're going to play Tampa and Boston.
I mean, wait, hold on, but Corpy might be worthwhile against Buffalo, right?
Maybe. I feel like so. Again, I've called a couple of these recently. That Boston Buffalo that has the potential. I feel like to be a game where someone's got to score at least 5 goals to win. And I don't want to start a goalie again.
Goalie in that angle. Oh man.
Especially in the finals or semifinals. I don't want to take a chance there. Columbus, I don't want either of their goalies. Definitely not against Toronto. Probably not against Ottawa, who I think is pretty pissed off because I think Columbus, didn't Columbus no, that was Nashville. They trounced like 8-4 a few days ago.
I mean, Columbus is kind of coming back, right? 3 wins in the last 4.
Yeah,
I'm going to ignore their 5th games in prior.
I was going to say that's a team. Unfortunately, they almost need to score 5 goals every game to win.
The lowest amount he's let in for a win there is 3 goals.
Yeah,
they've won 8-4, they've won 7-6, and he's been there on the ice for both of them. But like
Elvis, just no thanks.
I'm not saying he's gonna do like otherworldly things in net, but I am saying that team is on fuego. So like it's reasonable to consider maybe that team is just gonna outscore his issues.
I mean, it'll kill your rate stats, but I feel like if you want a win, if the win is very valuable to you, I don't think they're a win. I mean, well, didn't they beat Toronto earlier this season?
I have way higher hopes for like them to do something. Well, I mean, let's see. So
but Toronto, I feel like it'd be Tarasov that would get the Ottawa game, which is the game that they're more likely to win.
Right. I see what you mean. I mean, Toronto at home.
I feel like we got better. I feel like there were better choices.
Yeah, I can see
if we're trying to stream goalies. But Dallas, here we go. This is where I feel like we got someone.
Yeah.
So they're versus Pittsburgh at Minnesota. Casey DeSmith, widely available. He's in his last 4 starts, all 4 of them quality starts, 3 wins. Dallas just, even without Heiskanen, they're still steamrolling along. If Florida, they're at Ottawa, at Detroit. Vitek Vanacek.
Maybe. Alan, he's had over 80 saves the past 2 games. Casey DeSmith? That is
I believe that.
What are they? What? That is insane.
I wonder if it's one of those they force the teams to shoot like low danger, like old school, like older Blue Jackets, where it's just like, yeah, you'd have like 40 shots against them, but they're all just super low danger shots.
Straight to the logo? Yeah.
Yeah. Or from the outside where it's just terrible angles.
The other one I've heard though is that supposedly Heiskanen is huge for like cutting off angles and like, doing all that. And so having Harley, it like, I guess not alleviates it, but it makes it look sexier on the stats because like, oh yeah, he does more like, offensively or whatever. But like supposedly Heiskanen is like some like defensive wizardly masterclass or whatever. Mind you, this is all on Reddit, right? So who knows who's actually
on Reddit, no one knows your dog.
Oh, it's great. But yeah, Florida. Right?
Vitek Vanacek. I mean, probably against either one of those teams. That's not bad. I don't know, man. If Barkov's going to miss any sort of significant time, I feel like I would take a chance on DeSmith over Vanacek.
Yeah. So they only carry 2 goalies. Am I understanding this just as in they literally put every other guy down and it's just these 2? If not, Vanacek, I think is huge value, right? Like Detroit, I think is a very if both teams are gunning hard to win, I'm assuming all things equal, then Florida should edge them out.
Probably, I could see Bob against Ottawa and then Vanacek against Detroit.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I mean, that would work because it'd be Sunday where you're most likely to fit a start in.
For sure. For sure. I think Vanacek is, of all those names so far, if we're like going interests, I think Corpy is something that when definitely I'm still going to be like, well, against the worst team in the East.
I don't know.
I'm like,
I don't know. Not.
oh, sorry, worst team in the Atlantic. Sorry, worst team in the Atlantic. I'm like, maybe. But then the next team I think that pops up is Elvis. Elvis for me is like, okay, like, oh,
Not against Toronto, man. Nope.
Yeah.
And then we got
Maybe just
Montreal versus Philly at Nashville. I kind of like the Nashville. I like kind of like both of those matchups. I feel like again, I think I said it a week or two ago. I feel like if there's any team that's going to goalie someone lately, it's Montreal. Montembeau's 69%, very nice ownership.
Very nice.
Very nice. Dobas probably. I could see Dobas against either one of those teams.
Oh, geez,
especially if he gets the Nashville start.
He's had a rough go so far, though. My goodness. So he's led 7 goals over the past 2 games he's played.
Montembeau or Dobas?
Dobas.
Oh man, remember when he was like,
"Oh yeah,
never let one in," and we're like, "Oh, his for oh my gosh."
And then it was not only did he never let one in, when he finally let one in, it was still like a 40 save, like 2-1 win or something, and it was like he's never gonna lose.
For Vezina, everyone. Yeah. Nope.
And then afterwards, it was like, oh, he just got killed 6-1. Okay, against Philly. Oh, okay. It's like never mind.
And then Ottawa, they are versus Florida versus Columbus. I mean, maybe Anton Forsberg versus Columbus, but I don't know. To me, Smith is probably still maybe the guy to look for.
I don't want anyone against Columbus with all those guys coming back. Honestly, like I don't want to fade. I don't want to be at the other end of the Columbus fire, so to speak. I don't want to be out that end. No.
Pittsburgh, no, thank you. I do not want Schrodinger's Yari. No, thank you. Even though one of their games is against Chicago, that would probably be a Nedeljkovic game though. Vancouver versus Anaheim versus Vegas. Lankinen, just go check 49%. He'd probably get the Anaheim start with oh my gosh, what's his name?
Gibbs? No, not Gibson.
No, not Gibson. Demko with Demko back. There we go.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Vegas. Akira Schmid could be the play if Samsonov is still out. And Samsonov, for some reason, is actually down to a more reasonable ownership percentage. He's 48%.
I'm so sorry, Al. When you said Schmid for a second, my mind
Akira Schmid.
Florida.
Yeah.
No. But I was like teleported there, and I'm like, wait, Nate Schmidt is now like putting on the pads. I was so confused.
Yes.
For a second. But look at Akira Schmid. Yeah, like someone's got to have been thinking Devils for a while, right? Devils.
Well, I think I think he was in their system, and then
Okay. Did he get the win? No, he didn't get the win.
No,
he didn't get the win.
No, but yeah, I don't know. To me, DeSmith is probably the. If I was going to pick one of these guys to try to get, I don't know, like
DeSmith. I think DeSmith is probably the guy. Because, Pittsburgh or Minnesota, I think, is a huge difference, especially if Cappy comes back, though. So that part of it makes it very hesitant for me. I would say if there's a safer dude, Dobas against a Nashville with nothing to play for, Dobas with everything to play for, Nashville with nothing to play for, definitely seems kind of, everything aligns too nicely, I'd say. So maybe trap game again, but if everything doesn't trap, it kind of aligns theoretically, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. All right, so that's coming up on the end here, man. It's hard to believe it's week 24. Next week is it. Some of us, that's it after this week. But next week, best schedules. Remember, next week is the 7th through the 17th. So Jay and I will probably do something a little different rather than normal weekend preview. It'll probably be like part 2 of week 25. But the best schedules: Edmonton and San Jose. For San Jose, after having a couple weeks of terrible schedules, Edmonton and San Jose have 6 games across that week and a half with 5 games on off nights. Very nice. And then Calgary, Detroit, New York Rangers, and Tampa all have 6 games with 4 off nights. And then the worst schedules, which, yeah, like I said, it's not a wide margin here. Boston and Colorado just have 4 games, no off nights.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any? I'm trying to look for like the patterns where I'm seeing like guys that you can snag ahead of week 7, drop midway through and snag. I guess the only other one would be if you got either or any of the Edmonton or San Jose like all off nights in week 1. Oh, actually, Tampa's got a really nice one too. They got all off nights in week in the first
There
half
you
of
go.
April 7th too. Yeah.
So I'd say Oliver Bjorkstrand right there, got to keep an eye on. I believe
sure.
he's still getting power play, and it seems like he's finally finding his footing with the rest of the team. I know he's third line right now, but again, that power play one with Kucherov, yeah, you can't hate that.
For sure. I was thinking more if you could snag one of those, and then in the latter half, like, from the April 14th week onward, if you can get Detroit or the Kings, that's pretty good. They're the
I'll say
only
probably
two.
the Kings. You're probably more likely to grab someone of actual value.
For sure. Laferriere, probably.
Yeah,
Laferriere,
there we go. If he comes back, I feel like he was a maybe for tomorrow or tonight or something.
It's well, they're the only 2 teams that have 3 games in that second half of it, right? Laferriere, they took him off power play 2. Oh, he's not even on the power play.
Oh,
Jeez.
gross. Well, now I don't want him. I don't want him. I'm good.
Oh no. What happened there? Fiala's not.
No,
Whit
Fiala's
Byfield,
no.
is it just go check for sure?
Yeah.
Trevor Moore. Okay, yeah. Trevor Moore.
Oh, and Kuzi. Big Kuzmenko.
Yes.
He's fucking on a roll right now.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I completely disregard all the other stuff I said. Kuzmenko.
I was going to say Kuzmenko might be the grab.
Is definitely, he's getting 16, 18 minutes a night. Yeah, grab Kuzmenko because he's got a super duper juicy second half on April 14th through the 17th. So grab those 3 teams Alan mentioned: Edmonton, San Jose, Tampa, right? And so grab those guys for the first half, and then afterwards segue into LA off those guys.
But there we go. That's going to go ahead and wrap for tonight. On Twitter or in the Discord. Discord, you can even tag us using @FHFH. We're going to be back this Saturday. It was probably the last Hit Start Saturday of the season at 11 a.m. Eastern. So keep an eye out for that. Good night. Good mental health, everyone.
We will pick you up later. Good luck in the playoffs, folks. Oh, man.